Yo to the yo, yo, ho, ho, ho. How's everybody doing? Choco will be here shortly. Kenny. Let's go early, crew. I can't wait for this episode. I hope we get more info on the parents' side of things. No, we have no doubt of that, but I am super bought in to the setup of the Old Republic. I can hear S. What does that mean? I hope that means you can hear, because my mixer looks good. Everything looks good on my end. Is everything working? Can you guys hear? Working on my end, at least. VGC. I need clarification on what you meant. Kenny, you still there? Hello, Sophie. What's the show about? It's the crew of skeletons. Sure. Shout out to Podwan's podcast, man. How you been? Hey dudes, I'm here. What's going on, Spooky? Still waiting on Choco. I think it's like a pirate necromancer or something like that. I think it's our first taste of the Old Republic, but that's just me. About 15 minutes away. Call him and tell him it's late o'clock. I could, but then he probably wouldn't be. He just wouldn't answer. Choco is late, an astrological problem? Or is it just normal? Well, I'm hoping he's here by the time the episode drops, because he needs to be here by the time the episode drops. Sweet, I didn't miss it this week. Yay, how's it going, Morlock? So excited for this episode. I've been absolutely loving the show, and now all the setup's done. I'm hoping it's only going to get better. It can only get better. We can only learn more. And I'm just I love the setup so far. I'm excited for what else we can learn about it. I've been a fan for a while. I appreciate it, Morlock. We get answers to questions with each episode. Perfect. It's kind of like that's kind of how Star Wars operates, and it has operated for the longest time. Opinions on the $1,000 UCS Lego Death Star? I mean, I wouldn't get it, but you know, some people love that stuff. Some people make it like a family event to come together to build. I hope we get more Owl Lady. She was really awesome. Yeah. The things and the lore dropped by Kim last week was intense. And it turned things around for me. Not in terms of like liking Skeleton Crew, because I already loved it, was enjoying it, but it turned things around for me in terms of like my outlook on how much lore we'd get in this show. You need a 6-figure income to enjoy Legos. Not true. There's like a $60 tentative for that I'm getting for my note. Oh wait, no, they don't watch my streams. Never mind. Almost time. What's going on, Super Weeze? I see you. The question is, will I be able to hear you? No. You guys can't hear Choco, can you?
Yeah, well, we're okay.
Wiggle some cables. I agree. Legos are way too expensive. I mean, there are some that are affordable, but if you really want like some elaborate building sets, like, you know, like a huge Millennium Falcon, a Death Star, it can get up there in the hundreds for sure. I was looking at earlier the Dark Falcon from this latest Lego Star Wars, and I think it's under $200. But you know, you gotta there are certain things that will get up there. Oh wait, I was mistaken. I'm not getting my nephew the tentative form. I'm getting them a Lego Mandalorian helmet.
Is this like a holiday gift?
Yes. I mean, it's
cool.
Christmas next week. It's Christmas next week. Of course it's a holiday gift.
Listen, for a Star Wars fan, it doesn't have to be, you know, there's something we get all year round for anyone, you know?
Well, I mean, they're not, I wouldn't call them like true, not true. I wouldn't call them like longtime fans. It's like, this is the first year they've asked for anything Star Wars. So I actually didn't know that they would ask for anything Star Wars. But for me, yeah, year round. It's a year round event to get anything. Hope nephew doesn't watch a stream. I'm pretty sure they don't. You know, they're cool. They're cool kids, right? They got things to do, people to meet, Roblox to play. I'm getting my girlfriend the Witcher box set as a thank you for helping me understand what the F is happening in that show. I don't know why I censored myself there, but there's a 4 time for everything. I'm getting the Lego Droid Deca, hoping to get the Onyx Cinder after the holidays. Right on. Also, if we're talking about me, I don't typically, I'm not a Legos like person. If anything, I would just get the Mandalorian helmet. Just
yeah. I saw someone already has a Funko Kim. I was like, oh, already? Damn. Man, they be moving quick, you know?
Are there like plush Kims now too?
Dear God, I hope so.
You know what? I should treat myself this Christmas. I should get a skeleton crew and an acolyte, something or other. I'm just
Treat
gonna
yourself.
Look. I'm gonna treat myself 2 times. I'm gonna get.
Treat yourself 2024.
I'm gonna get a cute little Tynan plush for Basil, and then I'm gonna get a. Maybe if they sell it, a Black Series KB headpiece. If they sell that, I'm losing my money that week. Going over budget.
I thought you were gonna say if they are, you're dyeing your hair that week.
Oh, well, you know, that's also a possibility. I mean, I do have a portion of her hairstyle already ready. Kim,
you got the swoop, you know, you
like
can,
Eminem's
yeah.
ex-wife Kim? No, the owl-like or bird-like creature from episode 3 is Kim. I'm getting food. We'll be back in 5. Right on. Don't start without me. Can't promise that.
Man. So, we excited for episode 4?
Definitely. I was telling the chat earlier, episode 3 changed my outlook on Skeleton Crew. Not in the way of like liking it or enjoying it. I enjoyed it from the first episode, but it changed my outlook in the way of how much lore and its larger implications of kind of the setup, because like we entered this kind of realm of exploring the ancient history. And if this is truly a planet stuck in time, we'll get a lot more kind of set piece in terms of narrative around the Old Republic, and that's exciting.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this show is being made by huge Old Republic fans. Mm-hmm. You know, the last 2 shows, and so like, you know, there's just a lot of hope. I do find myself not having a whole ton to talk about when it comes to this show, because it really does feel pretty contained. Like they, at least when it comes to answering lore questions, right? Most of the stuff they explain it, or it's logical, or it's, you know, right there. And I also don't have a lot of nitpicks or complaints, you know, about the show as well. And so that leads to like me being like, that was great. You know, I can't just say that over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, I am of the mindset. You know, I feel like a lot of social media is just a lot of noise now, and so I'm of the mindset that if I don't have something that I think meaningfully adds to the conversation, I might just not say anything at all.
Yeah, I'm in the same spot, really. We did have a lot to talk about in terms of like the translation and what it actually meant for the planet itself, but other than that, like, it's the same thing. Like, there's nothing really to talk about in terms of critical aspects. Like with the Acolyte, there was so much more to discuss in terms of implications, because it was such a mystery garden. But
yeah,
in terms of Skeleton Crew, like, what I'm excited about is where they're going, and I know exactly where they're going. What they're hinting at is something that I'm excited also for, but I can't really make any speculations other than, hey, it's a hint to the Old Republic. It's not like I can watch this episode and then suddenly afterwards we're gonna be like, are we gonna see Revan? Like, it's not gonna go down those rabbit holes. Do we know
also,
how long the episode is, Sophie? Usually they're about 30 minutes outside of the credits. The last episode was 40 minutes minus 5. It's 35. So we're 2 minutes away. VGC better have dem foods ready. What do you think is going to be this episode?
I mean, they have a rough idea of where to go, you know. I feel like it's unlikely that they'll get there at this point in time. So, if anything, this will be the episode that the crew catches up. So we're gonna get two things happening. We're gonna get the rest of the kids falling more in love with Crimson Jack here. We're gonna get KB being more suspicious, and this is going to end with a run-in with their former crew or someone who knows them. That's gonna throw that all topsy-turvy.
I'm actually on the other side of the narrative with this one. I think we only got a small brief touch of the parents' side, and I think what I want, now I know that's a dangerous sentence to say in Star Wars, but what I hope we do is we find out just a little bit more about who the supervisor is and kind of the inner workings and the analysis, the analysts side of at Atten and what they're doing. So we got the lore side of like, oh, the Jewel of the Old Republic and the resources and the barrier. But what do the people in charge know about it? Ooh. Honestly, I think Wim's dad is going to do something crazy. Maybe.
I love Wim's dad. He's a hero. Don't start it just yet. I will be right back.
And the episode just dropped. Oh my god, guys. You guys are killing me over here. Okay, you're here, VGC, but now Choco has left. So you didn't really need to worry. So, I mean, I'm gonna let this Disney thing play. You guys can't see it. I'm gonna skip this actually because it's an ad. Let this ding. Okay. We're at the beginning of the episode at 000. 00000. Waiting for Choco to get back so that we can start. So as soon as we start, we're gonna count it down. You guys are gonna see the episode timer. If you guys wanna, you know, line up your reactions to ours. And we enjoy that. What if they end up on Peridia and rescue Ahsoka and Sabine? You know what? That would be a pretty dope. That would be a pretty dope crossover if I'm being completely honest with you, but I don't think it's going to happen. We don't know where in the timeline this is other than after Return of the Jedi. So we'll see. But I do like that callback, Obi-Wan.
All right.
All right, we ready?
We are.
Do you see a black screen?
I do.
Okay, guys. Pressing play in and remember we're skipping. We're not skipping. We're letting it play through so that the timer matches everything. So, in 3, 2, 1. Nana would. Yeah, to you guys. I'm penning the name right now. It's KB's rangefinder. Oh crap!
I mean, should we just call it? We just call it an implant.
I gotta turn off the Christmas music real quick. There you go. Oh, the music. It's so fluttery.
It's the whimsy of it,
Yeah.
you know.
Renaud's ghost. Jeez. Are they truly home at Aden already?
That seems quick.
Oh. Assuming direct control. I wasn't expecting to be home so quickly.
God, that ship is cool. I just love that design.
I would like to build that in Lego. This is Aden. Just popping in to wish you and all of the lovely people in the chat good day. Hope you're all enjoying Skeleton Crew. Right on, Jaybird. Dude, did they like go back in time? I don't know. It's either... I don't think this is at Aten. Okay. This is another one of the jewels. Right? It's like a society built the same way as at Aten. It's like another vault.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Rubik's Cubes. At Akron? Hmm.
What? There's something in there.
That's an automatic response built in. Can't say I remember no ad in. I might get a Neil plush. What do you sense, KB?
Are you here about the great work?
Is this like a kids club type of? Kids versus adults?
Yeah, Wim's gonna learn real quick that like it's not so much fun to cosplay someone else's oppression. You know what I mean?
Hatton Warrior. Lost Boys. Hey, VGC. Yeah. That's what I was trying to think
Yeah.
of. A selfie stick in Star Wars. I can see the video now. Trad Federation ships. It looks like a Trade Federation tank. Okay, I need that helmet too.
She's got that Destiny 2 slide.
It's at Akron Elementary or Middle. This is like very Lost Boys-esque. Like, oh, it looks like there's some adults here. The Troik.
Child soldiers.
They're gonna play the Hidden Temple game. So the 9 were definitely colonies. So well, I'm thinking now that they weren't all destroyed, but at Aden, right? Because this is another world. Oy. Your flag. Neil's gonna be the marksman. He's like, I know. One shot.
You grabbing him by the trunk.
Okay, this is a Neil episode.
Okay. I'm just saying she you know she's looking at her brother.
It's so weird to have planets that are so far removed from one another, but not be vaults, not have like a physical isolation.
Hmm.
How does that happen? How does that even work?
Hey.
You guys sleeping? No, we're watching a fucking show. I don't know how I thought that was a good idea.
Creepy old man. I don't like you. Go away. But we trained all afternoon.
I think they used kids because the Hatan soldiers probably won't shoot the kids. I don't know. I'm being
I mean, you're being very hopeful.
yeah. But when they met Jad, they also said what flag do you fly? So it doesn't seem like they're. We don't know
Yeah.
anything about the other. Is he cheating on Runa already?
Okay, at least we know he's not using them as just as purely fodder. Otherwise, he wouldn't allow his daughter to go.
Yeah. Oh, he ready. No, I think Jod. It's Jod. Okay, what did he do?
He did something to build up their trust.
I think he traded the ship. No, they would need that. By walking up the street. I mean, what use are they really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. We were gonna get some answers. Tahiti is a one magical place.
I actually never considered that we would get the info I thought of through another adventure with them.
No. Oh. Look at his kind eyes. I just want to hug him.
Don't say anything. Yeah. Let's go, Neil. Damn, he has that anime curl afterwards.
Right? The hero shot. She's just showing off there. By the way, when I was younger, I'd do the same thing. Hey, Dom, thank you. You can join us on the play button side if you want to hang out more.
Yay, yay, yay. Okay.
All right. Hopefully, we're going to see artwork just like before.
But if I'm correct, the thing on the top is an Oculus at A2. At Akron, at A2. At Akron.
There's 9.
The stream gay AF. Thanks. Craig says, how many more Skeleton Crew live streams will there be until Choco wears his skull and crossbones hat from the beginning? I think Choco just forgets.
You know, I try to mix it up.
I mean, you have the other coordinates, right? You can't you triangulate?
It's like talking to Chat GPT.
Mm-hmm. hero shot, the hero music.
I love that camera.
Okay. I'm like, my mind is churning. So,
Choco mixing up by wearing the same camel hat with the Rebel logo every time. How does that work? It works because I am a person that wears hats in my regular life. So, uh, if you've last few days I've been wearing the Venom hat a lot, and then before that was the Attack on Titan hat, and so yeah, I am mixing it up regardless of what you may see in a video. Also, sometimes I make videos all on the same day, so that happens.
yeah, man, I'm still in the same room. um. So what they just did is what I thought was going to happen, except we didn't get it on at Atten, which is a very creative way of doing things.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but I'm curious if all the plants are working on the same project, or if they each had a specific hand in different projects. And I also wonder if this entire conflict that's happening on at Akron was caused by that pirate crew.
Caused by the pirate crew, or caused by some sort of schism that happened between the people trying to protect what that project was and the people that found out what that project was and was now no longer going to go along with it. Right? But this also confirmed another thing, is that what Kim told them was there were 9 jewels of the Old Republic and they were all destroyed but at Aten. And that's the legend that the pirates go off of, which is, I suppose, what the legend that was perpetuated by Smee's old captain, who told them to destroy everything about at Aten in that room.
Yeah.
But since they're on at Akron, it seems that at least that planet still exists. So we have at Akron, we have at Teresia, at Coda, at Akoda, at Avrin or something.
Asion.
We have a whole bunch of
At something like that.
Ataconda? Or is it... Oh, was it at Akada or Akonda?
Anaconda. I don't remember that being one of them, but that's totally fine. No, but it makes me want, because yeah, absolutely, that's a schism that happened, among the people. But did like the pirates show up on the planet, march on that tower to find the coordinates and kill whoever's in charge, and then no one else knew what to do after that? Also, there was no droids running around on this planet.
That's true.
That we saw. So a lot of things are probably run by like a centralized droid, a centralized droid brain or something like that. And if that got taken out, then, that would throw a whole monkey wrench in the hierarchy of the people, and how, like this planet may have just gone through a very much, Lord of the Flies type of situation.
Which is interesting because if we take what we know about AT-AT, is that everything is run by droids. So did the schism happen when they got rid of the droids and found out what was happening, and there was like two schools of thought of where they should go after the fact? Like, where should their society like prioritize how they live? Or is there actually no droids here, and that's what makes it different from AT-AT? There's AT-A2. Oh, I already spelled it wrong. There's AT-A2.
Does this feel like a filler episode? No, definitely not. I mean, I did predict what I wanted to see happen, because ultimately we hadn't built the correct amount of trust with DYAD that we needed to. So that's what I was expecting to happen from this, is to do a lot of trust building so that, you know, the kids are truly feel he's part of the crew, and it's going to make it hurt so much when he betrays them and ultimately comes back to them. But no, definitely didn't feel like a filler episode. We also got closer to the planet that we ever did before. We learned why they were on that. They were on AT-AT to begin with, and how they got there. And of course, in the ship in the very first episode, you know, we saw two people who had killed each other, and those were probably the last two remaining human members of the crew.
Yeah. It's at Erevan. So we only have 5 of the planets: at A2, at Akron, at Ariza, at Erevan, at Akota. And I'm wondering, well, of course they all start with at, but they also, whether for alliteration purposes or something, all start with an A.
Yeah.
Erevan, Ariza, Akron, A2, Akota. I feel it. Listen, that sounds like a pirate crew, right?
What's up, Legacy of Naboo?
Captain A2, Akron, Ariza, Erevan, Akota. I feel like there was an original crew that found these planets during the Old Republic when they were uncharted, and found 9 different like resource rich planets, and they all like became like rulers of these planets. And throughout time, the legend kind of was passed down through the generations of pirates, and the surviving one is AT-AT. Or at least, since these guys have been at war or something like that, AT-AT is the last remaining one that is untouched.
Yeah, that's still doing the great work.
Yeah. And AT-AT. Yeah, for sure. I don't. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Maybe like a Fallout Vault. When the truth was discovered, society just collapsed. That's what I'm thinking.
Or sure. Maybe they, maybe they accomplished their work, and there was literally nothing for them. You know, the people were essentially cattle for them. The people were cogs in a machine, and once they finished what they needed, they're like, "All right, we're done here."
Yeah, that also lines up with the fact that like it's so decrepit, not from war, right? There's overgrowth. There's signs of neglect in terms of upkeep. Doesn't look like this tower was, destroyed by
like bombs or like major warfare. Um,
Yeah.
although, I mean, they did have a fat gun on the roof of that building.
That's true.
But it's going to end up being very interesting because the only person in the crew that knows of that gun is Neil, and I will bet you any amount of money that I mean, this uprising that's happening, it's going to start on At-Aten. I think Neil's dad is going to try to run things up the ladder and find out that there's nothing up there. We have a very much Wizard of Oz type of situation going on, and that's going to start some conflict. And
Oh, you're saying there's a gun on and in the same spot, like
yeah,
you were saying. This just another vault, so everything is the same.
everything's the same.
Okay.
And so what'll end up happening somehow is Neil's gonna need to pull out that gun. He's the only person that knows that it exists. So I'm curious what the catalyst is. It'll probably be the enemy pirates finding out and coming down to get him, and he whips out that fatty gun and shoots him out of the sky while laughing sadistically.
Master James Kenobi got me on that one. Dang it. Although
He just
thought
slipped it in at the end.
I thought Satil Shan earlier because I was concepting my second tattoo.
Listen, you don't need to tell us what you were doing when you were thinking Satil Shan. We're good.
Well, so it's either going to be on this side or the other side, but I was concepting out her double hilts, right? And in the cross section where the pommels meet, it would be the Jedi symbol. So it'd kind of like be a copter saber, but not. But her hilt is intricate. Yeah. That'll be a while though. Well, how'd you like the episode, James? I mean, this show just keeps on giving me what I want, and I'm not going to fault it in any way for doing that. It's just finding very, very creative ways to curtail how I lay it out, but still arrive at the same destination.
Yeah, absolutely. The Time Trav says, hope you guys know I love you, even though we may disagree on a great many things. Yeah, I mean, it's totally fine to disagree. That's welcome in the DYAD community. We have, great discussions. I just have to say, though, this show is not a reskinned Goonies, like, objectively. That's not like a disagreement. It's just not that. Where would this episode fall into the Goonies?
I enjoyed it, and both my wife and I kept saying there's no way they are at Aten already. Yeah, we were kind of like...
Yeah.
At the very beginning, we were like, really? Like, that's way too quick. But then, like, very, very quickly, I was like, they're not at Aten. That's not it. And, like, literally, that I said that, like, 10 seconds before Smee was like, Akron always makes me feel this way. I'm like, oh, it's at Akron. It was definitely a surprise, to say the least, to find out, because going off of the setup that all of the worlds were destroyed, but at Aten, I didn't expect them to be on another world to mirror that. So again, like I was saying, creative ways to curtail my expectations, but still give me what I was proposing they would do. Supervisor's tower, the coordinates to other planets there. So it seemed so I mean, on At-Aten on At-Aten itself, the same supervisor's tower has coordinates to all of these planets.
Mm-hmm. It would also imply that if they are unable to get the coordinates from the robot, they could go to another one of these planets to check it out. And we'll be able to see what the difference is there. The VGC says, I'm glad we didn't get another Seven Samurai episode. Yeah, I love Seven Samurai, but Star Wars needs to stop doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
At the same time, it's that trope's gonna trope. Things are gonna need
that
defense, and things are gonna, people are gonna need to help at some point. So it's gonna land there eventually.
it's which is not wrong, but I mean, if we can space out when it comes back as much as possible, I would enjoy that.
Have you guys started entertaining thoughts of series 2? Any thoughts on the premise? Not really. So where I land on it is that if they could find a way narratively to continue to tell the story with these kids and DYAD, I'm all for it. But at the same time, like, this show is more and more starting to play out in a way where it has a very, very specific end point.
Also, I mean, I see all these kids being friends, but I do see them kind of doing their own things, or finding out stuff about themselves to move forward. Here, when it comes to multiple seasons for a show, I just don't think that every show needs it. And I think that if you, for storytelling, you find the most interesting part of this character's life and you tell that story, and then you gotta like move on, and like maybe they have another interesting thing further in the future, but they're not going to be getting lost in space every episode, you know. And that's kind of the main premise. I'd love to see these people pop up in Star Wars. You know, maybe we can get them popping up in a novel or something like that that takes place years later. You know, that could be cool. But
I just want to see an adult KB with the visor being a Jedi, because that's an awesome look for a Jedi.
That would be a cool look.
It's kind of like Prosit Dibs, but just like
Prosit Dibs is blind.
Yeah.
You know, KB has eyes at least.
Now here, that brings me back to my constant obsession with KB's kind of subplot nature. There was a close-up of the shot of her again looking off into the distance as they were running, and I have to like ask, is she sensing something? Is like, what are these shots? What are these small moments?
I mean, personally, that didn't quite stick out to me, but you know, yeah,
go back to the
we
shot.
can see it. I will say though that I do like having KB there as the stand-in for, I guess, a droid. I mean, I love getting new and unique and cute droids, you know, in shows, but I do like having a break, you know, from the norm.
Really quickly, as they start to run.
Parkour.
Wait,
Parkour.
This isn't the shot. It happens here. Yeah, they all start to run, and what is she? That is a purposeful shot. It's not just there to be like, oh, KB is not scared of blaster fire, and everybody else is running from blaster fire. She's looking at something. Either she's looking at something or she senses something. My mind is on sensing because I'm obsessed with her being force sensitive. But if you could find a non-mystical way or a non-mystical reason for this shot, what do you think she's looking at?
I just think she doesn't have the same reaction as anyone else, and I feel like she has the same kind of deadpan look when Wim tries to high-five her later in the episode. I feel like if they were trying to hint at her being force sensitive, then she should have reacted before the shot. But that's just me. I could end up being wrong, but I mean, you know, we had Finn in the Force Awakens react to the Hosnian cataclysm, even though he couldn't see it happening. And so that was like an indication for him. I just don't have anything that strikes me as an indication for her.
Yeah, you know, that's a good call out, Morlock. Would love to see these kids join up with Omega. That's a great one because Omega is older, but really old at this point in the timeline. How old would Omega be at this point in the timeline? So when we leave her, it's like between A New Hope and they're already in the thick of like the rebellion, right? At the very last episode.
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
So by this time, she would be like, you know, late 20s or mid 20s. Because the Bad Batch starts at 19. And she's what, like the same age as them, assuming or presumably. And then
roughly, yeah.
By the time of A New Hope, like Hunter is like, oh, I'm an old man now. And she's older. So that's at least middle school plus 19, right? to basically 0. A New Hope.
Yeah, and but we are, I mean, we're out past Return of the Jedi. So yeah, I'd say she'd be in her 30s.
Yeah, 30s. I was doing the math on that one. Late 30s. I think it's early 30s. So if she's like, let's kind of like, if she's 12, 13 plus 19, that's 20. No, that's already 30s. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably late 30s, but yeah, she could be out, you know, a treasure hunting around the galaxy, or doing whatever. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd like to see them pop back up. I could definitely see, you know, Wim looking to do more exploring. I can see Fern though wanting to take the reins of whatever's happening on At-Aten.
Oh, I did love that aspect of Fern's character growth here. It's like she's on like the peaceful planet of At-Aten. She's the rebel. She is the person that doesn't follow orders, doesn't follow the rules. So it's very easy for her to kind of assume that mantle at the very beginning. I'm Captain Fern. I'm your captain. And she's like, you know, they're kind of gallivanting across the galaxy and kind of making light of the situation. But like when they're in the jail and then they escape and they go through what they went through on that moon with Kim, and then this point where they almost, I don't know, walk into a war essentially. I like that part where she was like, I'm in over my head. But it was also kind of like a, what would you call it? A come to Jesus moment when she remembers, you know.
We have a droid.
Yeah. Who would play live action Omega? I casted this a while back now. It's an actress from Hawaii that it's from a little known movie, Hawaiian movie, but she looks exactly like exactly like an old Omega. Let me see if I can find it. Couple.
I was like, Kung Pao the movie. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Maine Kinimaka. I'll put it in the chat so you guys know what I'm talking about. Look up this name, Maine Kinimaka. Like 1-to-1 Omega.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... I can't even argue.
Let's see here. You're absolutely right. It's not Goonies, but it's scratching that itch. It's Star Wars for sure, but it's also a little too meta for my tastes, which is one of my main complaints about most of Disney Star Wars. I don't know if I subscribe to that.
What's meta about it?
And also, I don't think that most of Star Wars is meta. I just think we know a lot about Star Wars already, that we kind of insert axiomatically a meta narrative based on our knowledge. She's a treasure hunter, so maybe she's looking for Ad-Aden too.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that largely the sequel trilogy is about the effects of what we have seen in Star Wars. So yeah, that's definitely going to be meta in that sense. But other than that, I can't think of anything else that I would consider meta. Not Obi-Wan, not Book of Boba Fett, not Andor, not Cal Kestis games.
There's a bit of meta narrative in Andor, but that's to be expected in a narrative like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's more like.
But it wasn't as overt. Like, it's not like
political.
Yeah. I hope the Element will show Choco that TikTok post I've tagged you both in soon. After all, it's my holiday gift to you both. I think we've both seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw it.
Having said that, the show is by no means terrible, and I find it at least mildly entertaining. Neil is the best. Neil's been doing a lot of work, to be honest. This was his episode for sure. We got that kiss on the cheek, and then like that hero shot with his hair finally like morphing from like semi yarmulke to anime swoosh.
We got always Fern in the chat. Sorry, Fern, you're amazing. Great to see you.
Yeah, Fern, you're amazing. You could do anything, but I don't expect you to figure things out just because I said you're amazing. I wouldn't be whim at all. He pulled a Luke and threw a rock.
Man, that was terrifying. I mean, especially if you're a kid and you've seen that big scary robot like punch someone like into the ceiling.
I'm living so vicariously through Captain Fern. I can imagine. And there's a certain point of pride that I have for having given you the moniker Always Fern. Because we wouldn't want it any other way.
It's been long enough that I don't remember what it was before Always Fern.
Do I?
Those were the days. Let's see here.
Wasn't it like Elven Elegy or something? Oh, Fern AMG before, not very memorable. There's still Fern in there, so that's my Twitch. I knew it was something. I mean, that's memorable, Elven Elegy, but at the same time, Always Fern just felt right at the time. They totally
issue 3 of Ewoks
glasses.
Just dropped, and it's wonderful. Man, yeah, there's a lot I need to catch up. And I just, you know what?
I haven't read Kalnaka either.
It's because of other media. I've been so into this unsold book series that that it's crazy.
And it's unsold, like soul.
Yeah.
I thought it was unsold, like they were just they couldn't sell anything.
No, it's like an ability, the abilities that the people in his village have. He did the test for it and didn't get anything at all. and so and that like that never happens. So they say he's unsouled because it's part of what comes from inside you,
Yeah, I like
and they treat him like garbage because he's because he's unsouled.
Fern, are you in the area for the holidays? We should try to like redux our attempt at hanging out because last time we couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. But there was that. Last night I was catching up on Bleach. I still have a whole 100-year quest to look into. I have all these. Man, there's a lot of stuff. It's a fantastic time to be a nerd and to. It's such a great time.
Did you catch up to Bleach, or are you still catching up?
I'm still catching up.
Okay. Just give me the green light, man. I'll spout some things at you.
Can I just say I hate the writing of Orihime.
Yeah, she's one of the weaker characters in this.
And also that shirt bugs the heck out of me so much because it doesn't even make sense.
Hey man, they make like puffer jackets. You could kind of tailor it in a similar way.
Yeah. That's the character who, like, if I was watching anime while growing up, my mom would walk in whenever they're like running on screen.
After Christmas? Let us know after Christmas.
Y'all should come here to Pizza Rizzo. Okay. Actually, we did discuss doing some type of DYAD thing in Florida, because that would be amazing. It would also give us the ability to hang out with you, to hang out with, several others. Our friend Lord Dagavir. We got Young. We have Christy over there, and yeah, just some cool peoples.
But let us know where you're at after Christmas. We'll do something. Anything really.
Anyways, like I was saying before, though, I would also faint if Smee started like rolled up like that, did his Henry Cavill arm unloading, and then it was like, tear them apart, rip them limb from limb. I'm like,
and then what?
Oh, he's just terrifying. And I did love how I was expecting Jod to like dive and grab Neil and pull him out of the way, and then like he jumped way further back, and I was like, oh,
I think you missed it. Neil's that way. Smee is scary, yeah.
Smee is me.
But then now we also have to talk about where does that leave Smee? I mean, yes. KB did say maybe we can... No, that was beforehand. She said maybe we can restore his memory. Do you think they'll have to reprogram him? Obviously.
Yeah, but they'll probably like remove his legs or something first. You know what I mean? Like, you just detach the arms and then you can turn them back on, and you're still good.
Oh, Fern, I don't know if you saw my post or not, but speaking of 100-year quest and the fairy tales, I did get this. This is the first one. So I'm officially part of the guild. Like officially, after like being a fan since 2000. 2012.
Okay.
Like I the way I convinced myself was like I can't always be a pretender. This cannot be my guild crest. know.
Always when makes a good point. I think they just need to get him out of there. I think if they physically just remove him from that room, then they could say they're no longer poking around.
But
Or
Jod's always poking around for treasure. That's his shtick.
yeah, how much time have they spent on the ship itself, actually going around to piece together what happened? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we need to spend some more time doing that.
I'd guesstimate 4 episodes, maybe overnight at Borgo. Well, like relative to the port, not overnight in terms of like local time. And then what? See, we're dealing with Max of Zorro type of stuff now. We're going into like, well, how long did it take for them to get to the moon with Kim? Right? Is it a couple of hours? Is it like a day and a half? Shout out to Max of Zorro. Who knows? I think right now, since they're showing signs of homesickness and like despair when they find out it's not Adadan, I'd say they've been gone for a week.
Yeah, that seems about fair. I don't know why when you said the word overnight in like the sentence structure, with your statement, just made me think of Fast and Furious, of like, you know what, this will decimate all after you put about 15 grand in it or more if we have to, overnight parts for Japan. Yeah,
Overnight parts. You ever put together a car overnight? Hell no. All right, I got to dip. Do some other stuff. Take care. Appreciate you, VGC.
All right, VGC. Maybe we'll see you in the Rivals in the Marvel Universe.
Doing the again. Speaking of which, VGC, I know you're still lurking, so I'm just gonna say this: play someone else. I mean, sometimes I gotta put away the Hawkeye. Sometimes I gotta do that, you know. You gotta let other people play. You are really.
He's a fantastic character that I do want to get a lot better at.
Yeah, VGC is really good with Winter Soldier though.
Yeah, but I mean, like when you clear out a whole team with your agains, I think my longest chain of them has been 8.
Wow.
So like people started coming back out of spawn, so you get them again. It's a great feeling.
I wanted to get your take because you weren't there last night, but we were. So Cal made a statement saying that Wolverine as a kit is an F tier character. And me and VGC were fighting back. We're pushing back. We don't fight here. But we pushed back and said, on paper, his kit is highly valuable. Because he has the ability to push from the back line to your team to isolate. And he also has the ability to I'm forgetting the word, but he has the ability to take care of divers. And our argument was solely based on his kit on paper, not relative to other characters, not relative to any players that might have character knowledge or expertise. We were just saying Wolverine, his kit is really good, and if you know how to play it, then it shows that value. I would have also
pushed back on that, because if you play him right, like one thing you can do is like, let's say a Venom tries to dive in, right? You can use your shift ability, pick him up and physically take him somewhere else and then whoop his ass. You know what I mean? And like, and once your rage builds up, you're doing percentage based damage. So the higher their health pool, the more damage you're doing. You can bust down some tanks. And you know, his right click, which is always online pretty much, is also a movement ability.
Yeah.
There's a lot that he can do, and I feel like it's more or less a thing of people not knowing how to utilize him at this point yet.
Yeah, and that was also like when we crept into the player skill issue department. We were like, you can make that argument with Spider-Man. I've played with Spider-Man that aren't swinging around. They're running around on the ground just trying to punch you, and that's when I can headshot them. It doesn't make Spider-Man's kit bad. So even on paper, Wolverine has real value, but if you add a player that knows how to play Wolverine, it's even increased value. So there's nothing that goes down for him. The thing I want to add on top of that is when you build your rage meter, it's percentage plus rage. So when you're done taking care of the Vanguard and you've built up your rage,
you'll melt anything.
You can lunge their healers even into your team and snuff them out as well.
Now the thing I will say is technically all melee only characters are bad at certain engagements because you bring no value to your team if you're out of range. You know, even if you're magic, you still have your right click, which does throw a pretty powerful projectile. You know what I mean? So like even then you can still put pressure on the other team. And that's something that Wolverine and Iron Fist just can't do. But yeah, I just think he has a higher skill floor. His higher skill floor, and he doesn't have the highest skill ceiling, but it is high, you know.
Mm-hmm. Which brings me to. That's it. I mean, I mean, it's late for most people. We've talked about the episode, and we're getting into our rivals mindset. So true. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this watch along for episode 4. Reminder that this Friday there will be no Dyad in the Force, and we will resume next Friday on the 27th after Christmas. And we'll be playing some games. We'll play some Pictionary. We'll play some Real Fans Would Know. That's episode 99, I think. And then the next episode is going to be our Spicy Noodle Challenge and British snacks. Let me know if you can't find some British snacks, and we'll get together to hang out one day, and I'll just hand them off to you. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out. We'll see you guys next week for Dyad in the Force and another episode of Skeleton Crew. That's it. On to the next one.
For Light and for Life.
We are all Neil hero shots.
And I'll rip you limb from limb, tear them apart. Smears me.
Smears? I heard smears me. Bye, guys.
Peace out.